Hello, my name is Brittany Finley and I am a recent graduate with a Bachelor's in Family and Consumer Science from the University of Kentucky, and I am having a graduate course in adult education, and I am going to teach you all today how to make a chalkboard on a door in my kitchen. I actually already have one that I've made on a flat panel door, which works best because it doesn't have any panels in there, so you don't have to worry about any ridges or high points. I made this earlier in the year, but I found that it's too small for what I need, and so I am going to actually expand on what I already have and paint some more on the door so that I have a little bit bigger area to do a few other things if I wanted to make a calendar or something like that on the door. So the first thing that I've already done is I have taped off around the edges on 3 of the corners. I just have regular painter's tape. Masking tape that works really well because it's not going to pull off any of the excess paint that I already have on the door, because this is already pre-primed and painted. So I already have that put on all 3 corners. I'm going to add the 4th corner. I also have my black chalkboard paint, which is what color I chose to use. You could get it in any color. They have green, yellow, any color that you want. Lowe's, Home Depot, any hardware store should have this type. I'm using American Tradition, which works really well, which is actually what is already on here that I've already been using. I have my rolling pan that I'm going to use. I have my roller, which is a 2-inch sponge roller that I found works pretty well. You can use any type of roller, but this one seems to work pretty well. Then I have a 2-inch brush that I'm going to use to just touch up around some of the corners and things like that. After it dries completely, if you wanted to freehand in, say, a calendar or something, you can use one of these small painter brushes and just kind of freehand in some squares. And then you could have a 30-day calendar on your door for any type of appointments or to do things that you want to put on there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add my last roll of paint on the corner of this door. Like I said, I just want it to be a little bit bigger because the size of this is not very big. I'm going to add some fancy corners in on the sides, and the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to use cups, these plastic throwaway cups, and then you just go in around the side of it and just kind of adds a frame, a little bit fancier frame to the door. So that's why my corners aren't connected. I'm just going to go all the way over to the side of the door, pull it out just a little bit, use the side of the door for my straight line. You want to cut it off the bottom. You need to go back and really press in the painter's tape so that the paint doesn't seep through the tape, because if you do, you won't get your nice crisp lines that you'll get if you make sure that the tape is secured onto the corner of each side. That's the best way to do it. I may add a small piece of tape down at the bottom if I feel like it's not big enough for the cup to go around, but it's really at your own desire what size that you would like for the corners to be. You can do this on other surfaces. It doesn't have to be a flat panel door. You can do it on the bottom of your walls in a mud room or something like that. Add some chair molding that makes it look really good. But for me, this door is just an in and out from our mud room, and so this is what I thought would work really well. I'm going to now pour some of the chalkboard paint, not all of it because I definitely won't need all of the paint, into the rolling pan. I do have a chocolate brown drop cloth to work with so that if any of the paint comes off, it's not going to hurt my floor. I'm going to get it pretty covered. The sponge soaks up a lot of the paint, and so that helps if you have quite a bit of the paint on there, because as soon as you start rolling, it's going to come off very quickly. I always start in the middle of the door and work my way out. That way all the excess paint isn't on the sides of your tape. With white being the undercolor, you probably have to add a couple of coats to make sure that the white is covered as much as you would like it. allowing the paint to dry for about 24 hours. I spoke earlier about adding a calendar, and if you decide to do that, you really have to let the paint dry before I would advise putting the calendar on there, because the paint needs to cure all the way through.